expectations.
Wait, crayons? Don't talk about crayons. Crayons? Crayons? Oh, jingle bell, joy reaped, lies smell like Don Lemon lay some eggs. Roland Martin slipped at the buffet, and the shield still lie to your face. Wait, crayons? Don't talk about crayons. Crayons? Crayons?
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
What's good, everybody? AB Media 83 here, and welcome to this edition of Colosseum Special. And today, I know, usually I'm on Butthurt Blues neck, but today I'm going to be on Butthurt Red's neck. Yeah, I know, I just made it funny, but anyway. Republicans. To any of the Republicans that might be watching, we need to have an honest conversation. Don't nobody like you. We voted for Trump because he was the lesser of two evils. We don't like your ass. We don't like your policies. If you had paid any attention during election, instead of having your head up your ass, you would understand that men rejected the Democrat Party and you should take advantage of it instead of putting out harmful legislation towards men. Oh, yes, that's what we got to talk about today. Oh, and by the way, we're not talking about Keisha today. Oh, no. Today, we have to talk about Becky. Today, we're talking about Becky. Today, we're talking about Ashley Hinson. Now, unfortunately, Ashley Hinson is both a Republican and the same age that I am, 42. Ashley has introduced some legislation that is questionable at best. And for those of you who want to read that legislation, I have posted the link to that legislation in my description. The link to that legislation is in my description if you want to take a look at it. But she introduced some legislations that we need to talk about and take a look at. So without further ado, let me set up my video here. Get my playlist together here and we can get started. But yeah, Republicans need to be reminded nobody likes you. We didn't vote for you. We didn't vote for you because you were the best officer. We voted for you because you're the lesser of two evils. Now I know. I'm a black man. And y'all think you can rely on the methadone clinic forever. Yeah, I said it. I know. I'm a black man. Most Republicans that may come past this video ain't gonna listen to my black ass, but y'all think that methadone clinic vote's gonna last forever. Good luck with that. But without further ado, let me share my screen. What's going on, Namer? Oh yes, today we're going after Republicans today. Nobody likes you, and you're about to see why nobody likes you. Let's go to Colosseum. There we go, and we're gonna start with this one. Hold on, wait a
Once
minute.
again, the Republican Party is showing that when it comes down to it, they're every bit as anti-male, anti-father, and anti-family as the Democrats are.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Republicans have their share of feminists too. I've never denied that. Yep, pretty much. But let's continue.
In fact, I'd argue even more so. Today, we're going to talk about the latest example of this and explore the craziness of the latest masterpiece coming out of Washington, D.C. Earlier this week, Congresswoman Ashley Hinson out of the 2nd District of Iowa introduced a bill to federally mandate that men named by expectant mothers be forced to financially support them and pay for at least half of their medical expenses.
Oh, you thought it was just the butthurt blue side that was against men? Oh no. You have this problem on the Republican side too. And that's why we're talking about it today. This shit need to be called out.
This is similar to many bills that have been introduced in states, but this time it's different because it would, in fact, make it the law in all 50 states.
Pay attention, fellas. Pay attention.
The bill, which is innocuously named the Supporting Health Pregnancy Act, in theory, would support a pro-family agenda by making men more responsible. Yeah, you heard that right. It's the same old.
Yeah. This is the gist of the bill. They want more men to be married before before they impregnate chicks. But the way the culture goes, this legislation is not going to help you get to that goal at all.
Old, tired, worn out anti-male, anti-father ideology the Republican Party has been pushing for decades.
Yeah, them and the Democrats too.
Now, all wrapped up in a pretty bow that on its face sounds comforting, compassionate, and completely harmless, but is anything but. Sounds like a win-win, that is, until you actually read what's inside of it. Once again, and I know this will come as a complete shock to some of you, the fine print does what it always seems to do in American policy. Puts men on the hook, puts
pretty much
fathers in the cross.
But they want to say down with the patriarchy. Can you imagine what would happen if they let men off the hook? Oops.
Tears. And it does it with soft language and a press conference about helping women. Now, let's be clear. This bill is being pushed hard by Republicans across the country, the very same Republican Party that men carried across the finish line in 2024. The same Republican Party that...
Yeah, because the other choice was an incompetent AK who stepped their way to the top. That's the only reason we voted for y'all. If it would have been a halfway decent Democrat, Trump probably would have lost. I said what I said. But no, you gave us Sleepy Joe and an incompetent AK who stepped their way to the top. Oh, by the way, from what I hear, that incompetent AK is trying to run again. With whose money, I have no idea. But anyway.
That right before the elections claimed it was going to support fathers, family values, and fairness. But which is showing that the minute they got into office, they're anything but. Which is why here we are yet again, staring at what is essentially feminist agenda legislation that would open the door for alleged fathers to be financially responsible for pregnancy costs.
Yep. That's what they're pushing, but let's keep listening.
And here's the part that they don't want to talk about. The part where it's done before paternity is ever established.
Translation. A chick can say you can father, that you're the father of that child, and you can be on the hook. You can be on the hook for that. Now we saw what that book. This legislation is basically making that bullshit that happened in Michigan happen in all 50 states. So we need to pay attention to this.
No, I'm not exaggerating that. There is zero proof required from this bill, zero protection afforded to men, zero accountability for the women to be held to. Simply put, a man can be ordered to pay based solely on the word of a woman and nothing more.
Once again, this is coming from Republicans. This is coming from Ashley Hinson, a Republican out of Iowa. And if you want to call Ashley Hinson and talk to her about this legislation, you can do so. Now, let me be perfectly clear about something. I don't condone harassment or threats to Ashley Hinson. But if you want to call Ashley Hinson about this topic, this legislation that she's sponsoring, there's the number. Once again, I do not condone violence or intimidation. But if you want your voice heard, there's the number. Now, let's continue.
Now, some will argue there's some good in this bill. For example, the bill explicitly expands Medicaid funding to what it calls pregnancy help organizations, which it defines as centers providing counseling, mentoring, and support services. That's a direct quote, by the way. Counseling, mentoring, and support services, which sounds good, might even be good. But here's what it doesn't include: actual Medicare nor physician oversight. No licensed healthcare really in any manner. Basically, it's a nice fat pork barrel project where your tax dollars and potentially your court-ordered dollars are given to nonprofits with no medical requirements or really any oversight whatsoever. But here's where it gets worse, what we really want to talk about. Republicans are pairing this with a separate initiative to push prenatal child support. Hinson's bill would require states to establish systems where the biological father would be on the hook for at least, key phrase there, at least 50% of out-of-pocket expenses associated with the pregnancy, as well as, by the way, health insurance premiums for the mother, which, as we know these days, can run into the tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, by the way, those premiums are going to get much worse next month if the Republicans don't do anything, because they want to get rid of the Obamacare subsidies. And y'all thought coming up with this legislation was a good idea. Once you got rid of the Obamacare subsidies, you're going to put this kind of pressure on fathers and think you're going to get elected in 2026 and 2028? Okay. One day, Craig, one day it might be a Mass Effect stream, but it ain't today.
Per year. Oh, sure, there's some limitations, primarily that abortion costs are completely excluded. How nice of them. But in essence, it will once again reduce men.
Well, okay, the abortion costs are excluded, but that doesn't mean anything if you're still screwing over fathers, which doesn't get you to your goal to bring up the population numbers. You ever think about that, Republicans?
Men into being nothing more than walking wallets.
Yeah, this doesn't help you get more white babies. But I know, I'm a black man. What I say doesn't probably matter to some of you Republicans, but that's okay. Keep relying on the methadone clinic if you want to, at your own risk.
Walking wallets at the beck and call of any woman that wants to make them into one. Think about it. Those men could and likely will be ordered to pay half the cost of the pregnancy, health insurance, and God knows what else, based solely on the accusation of the woman, of the mother, and nothing more. Let's be clear here. This entire bill, the potential law, is holding men accountable based solely on the word of a woman. No DNA test required. No proof required. All she's got to do is claim he's the dad, and he's on the hook, with no real way to defend himself or prove he isn't the father, at least not till the child's born. Let's call that what it really is. It's men being said to be guilty until proven innocent,
Pretty
which
much.
is being written directly into federal policy. It is the feminist believe all women mantra on steroids. I mean, really? No woman ever has lied in the history of mankind about who the actual father of her child is? What, those 30% of DNA tests that come back showing the man
No, 30 is closer to 40%.
she named as the father wasn't the actual father? What about them? Who cares? Apparently, Representative Hinson isn't aware of those realities. More likely, though, she doesn't care. This is a very, very dangerous piece of legislation and doesn't do any.
Yes, it is a very dangerous piece of legislation, which is why I put the link to that legislation in the chat. And also, if you want to call Congressman Hinson respectfully, there's the number. Notice I said respectfully. I don't condone harassment or intimidation. But if you want to call Congressman Hinson respectfully, there's the number. Now let's get back to the video.
Anything to protect families. If you don't believe me, read the language within it, which is written very carefully to hide the true feminist agenda behind it. To be fair, they refer to the man not as the father, but as the alleged father. Yet at the same time, still allow the courts to pursue that alleged father for financial support prior to the birth.
Yeah, we have too many jacked up courts in this country. There needs to be a DNA test before this kind of legislation could be even put in place.
Force him to pay for a child that may not even be his. Force him to pay by putting him in jail if he doesn't. That one word, alleged, is doing the entire job here. Because if paternity isn't confirmed, you can still be held responsible, still be billed, just because she says you're the father. Essentially, the government has just weaponized the child support system yet again to punish men. Once again, they've legalized financial punishment of men without requiring any proof. And again, let me state this clearly. This is not the Democrats doing it. Though to be sure, they'll wholeheartedly support it.
More than likely, probably.
It's the Republicans who are the ones pushing it. The very same Republicans who love to say they're the party of men, the party of fathers, the party of family, the party of responsibility. Funny how responsibility ends when it comes to.
Evidently, that's not in this piece of legislation that he's talking about, Craig.
Proven who the actual father is. My friends, the only thing they are is the party of fraud, just like all the women who will be sure to commit fraud against men if this bill becomes law.
Yeah, they're going to commit fraud anyway.
This is the same old shell game the Republicans have played for decades now. While they claim to be about fairness and family, what they don't like to admit is they're also the party that uses men as walking wallets, while refusing to give those very same men a single shred of legal protection in return. The fact of the matter is, men delivered the GOP its victory in 2024. And this is the thank you, or more precisely, the FU that men are.
Yes, we did give them the victory in 2024. That doesn't have to stay the same for 2026 or 2028. I can easily sit at home and vote for the couch. And yes, but hurt blue. If that hurts your feelings, I don't give a shit. I reserve the right to vote for the couch.
Are getting in return. That they're getting is a bill that allows the government to financially target men. Oops, sorry, alleged fathers, before a child is even born. No protections if you're falsely accused. No automatic reimbursement if DNA later proves you're not the father. No repayment of any legal fees. No penalties for the woman who names the wrong man or doesn't acknowledge that there might be other men who could be the father. Not even a requirement for a DNA test at any time at all. Let me say it again because it's so unbelievable. There is zero language in this bill requiring a DNA test to confirm paternity before a man can be financially pursued. Let me state it unequivocally. That omission is not accidental. It is absolutely 100% intentional. And it tells you everything you need to know about how little men and fathers matter in the eyes of the people who claim to represent them.
That's okay. That's okay. Y'all want to keep letting China eat our lunch? We don't have time for this feminist bullshit.
Ms. Hinson doesn't care in the least about justice, doesn't care about equality, doesn't care about reality. What she cares about is pushing the feminist anti-male agenda that they've pushed for 60 years now. She makes that obvious in a comment that she made to Fox News, where she said, "I'm a mom on a mission to make life easier for my fellow moms." Really?
Neymar, I wish everything was that simple, but you know in this you should know you don't live in this country. I wish things were done decently in order, but they're not. There needs to be legal jargon in here for DNA tests, and if it's not, there's going to be problems in different states, especially if you're in a liberal state like California or New York or Illinois. It's crazy.
Ashley, just the moms? What about the dads, real or imagined? What about them? What about the children who might be defrauded by their mother as to who their real father actually is? Oh, right. You don't care about them at all, do you? Worse, this woman is going to be running next year to move over to the Senate, all while...
Yes. Ashley Hinson is running to be a senator, which is why if you have a problem with this legislation that she's pushing right now, there's a number. Once again, I don't condone violence or intimidation, but call and let your voice be heard. Respectfully. Now let's continue.
While she's claiming she supports families, claiming, and I quote, she wants to support the parents and women who are building America's future. Note how she was very specific there. No mention whatsoever of men or fathers at all. I mean, come on, man. Do you need any more evidence? This is straight out of the far left feminist agenda. She is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It proves beyond any doubt she is anything but pro-family, anything but about building a strong nation.
And I don't necessarily have a problem with that, Craig, but you need to have safeguards in that bill. If you're going to do that, that's fine. That's fine. I don't necessarily have a problem with it or disagree with that point. But there needs to be safeguards in that bill because women do lie, even when married.
Does prove is she's anti-male, anti-father, and anti-family. And it's time we do something about it. Because men, the reason this keeps happening is because we're allowing it to. Because we keep voting for these politicians who openly show they despise us. We keep voting for a party that doesn't care about us in the least, who sees us as disposable, as cannon fodder, who treats us as stepping stones to female superiority. So what can we do? Well, here's where we can start to take some action. If the Republicans want to propose legislation that affects fathers, then we as men, we fathers, need to start speaking up loudly, clearly, and respectfully. Ashley Hinson is the primary sponsor of this bill. So let's call her out on it, literally. If you're watching this video, pick up the damn phone and call her congressional office. Let her staff know exactly how you feel about the bill that opens men up to financial liability without requiring any proof they are the actual father whatsoever, without requiring a DNA test, without providing any protection for the innocent, without providing any provision to reimburse them for all the legal fees and support they were required to pay to a woman who lied. Ask them directly why she chose not to include a single safeguard for falsely accused fathers. Ask her why she specifically ensured that there is no reimbursement for men who are proven to not be the father. Not just reimbursement for the support they were forced to pay, but also the legal fees and interest.
Yep.
Ask why she didn't require DNA testing before any financial obligation begins. Because if she's going to put men at risk, then she should have to answer to the men she's putting at risk. Her Washington office phone number is on the screen. It's 202-225-2911. Again, 202-225-2911. Call and be heard. Speak up, not with anger, but with honesty. Be calm, be direct, be firm, and explain to them that we see this for exactly what it is. We see what's going on, and we're going to be holding her and the entire Republican Party accountable for this anti-male agenda, especially in the midterms next year. Let them know that not only won't she get the male vote, but we'll work to ensure that not a single Republican anywhere does. If every person watching this video makes that call, trust me, it'll get heard. It will get noticed. And if you won't make the call, to be blunt, I know most of you won't, then you, my friend, are the problem. Because that's exactly what most men have done for the past 60 years or so. Abso-freaking-lutely nothing.
Well, until the black minister came along, but anyway.
Which is exactly why, in turn, bills like this keep becoming law. If you can't pick up the phone, at least send an email. In the description of this video, I'll put a link to her website where you can submit a written comment through her online form. She doesn't offer a public email address, so that's the only way to get your message to her in writing. Men?
Yeah. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I don't think the bill may necessarily be malicious, but we, particularly with the way our system is now, we have to have all our ducks in a row. Now, if you brothers want to come up and talk about this, we can. But that was the inspiration for this video. And me talking shit to the Republican Party. We don't like you. Some of your ideas are bullshit. And as I've stated before, I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you guys don't do something legitimate about health care, you deserve to lose in 2026 and 2028. If you allow people's premiums to skyrocket and don't do shit, You can't say shit when you don't get reelected in 2026 and 2028. You're relying on the fact that the Democrats are dumb as fuck and twiddle their finger on a bunch of cowards. But that doesn't guarantee that you're going to win either. Just saying. What's going on, Amber?
Hey, what's going on? To your point earlier about, the whole thing about, the bureaucracy, especially at the state level, and interference and whatnot, I get that regarding the whole issue of paternity tests and everything. Then again, can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes. I hear you now.
Okay. That's odd.
Come on, Louis.
Anyway. Louis. Anyway, what was I going to say? All right. This is not the first time. Let's not forget, both sides are blue pill as hell.
Yep.
And I don't care. And, you have like two, when it comes to women's liberation, you have two sides of it. You have the ultra conservatives as well as the ultra liberals. Remember, within feminism, you have people who talk about women's liberation, but then they also they clash with those who believe in women being traditionalists, the TRACONs, because both sides believe in female, or absolution from accountability.
Yeah.
But then again, within, the feminist camp, as well as the TRACON camps, there's battles about that. They have their disagreements and whatnot. So don't be surprised who's saying, well, kids, women are all gynocentric in one shape or form.
Yeah, that's true.
And so both sides are just as gynocentric. Both is blue pill. I remember like certain MGTOWs talked about this. I remember Barbarossa talked about in Florida when Governor Rick Scott this is 2015, 2016. There was a bill that was passed through the Florida State Legislative to reform child support laws. He vetoed it. And surprisingly, the people who supported him vetoing it were groups like NOW, National Organization of Women. That's a feminist group, because they said like this type of legislation would affect mothers negatively. And even Rick Scott went on record and said, "Yes, I know I have a male relative who's been through the ringer because of child support laws and whatnot and divorce laws here, but I can't do it in good conscience." I'm like, what do you mean you can't do it in good conscience? Bitch, please, this is all ideology. Most of this shit is ideologically driven, not in
And quite frankly, and I understand what Craig was saying, like they're doing this legislation to try to, because me and Lou were talking about this behind the scenes too. They're trying to pass this kind of legislation to encourage marriage, but have you looked at our culture recently? This is not going to help. This is just going to incentivize, especially the Gen Zers. It is going to make them go even more into the lying flag, in my opinion.
Lying flag, the whole black pill. You're going to see. You're just going to force people. You're going to look at guys thinking, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to get my passport, go overseas.
Yes.
And if they do this, and a lot of them are probably going to do the smart thing, like get married but go overseas and stay overseas. Now you're going to have this whole issue about, and we know what that does, right? Because I don't know, everybody talks about birthright citizenship, but no one talks about citizenship or inheritance, citizenship through inheritance. Because now you're going to have this whole dilemma about dual citizens overseas. Yeah. That's going to bring some questions about, because you want to bring the birth rates, but you're going to have to start making some compromises. Like say, okay, we'll allow birthright citizenship, and to the Americans who have kids overseas, we'll recognize them as citizens, and even children to American grandparents or whatnot. Because you can only be, unlike in Europe where you can inherit your citizenship through a grandparent. Here in the U.S., it's only through a parent. People don't know that shit. Yeah, I mentioned this a couple times at BGS. The concepts are jus sanguinis and jus solis. Jus sanguinis means inheritance through bloodline, or you inherit your citizenship through a parent
Oh,
because you're
okay.
ethnically of that, ethnically and whatnot. Most countries, nearly all countries recognize that form. Birthright citizenship or jus solis, it is only a concept you find in parts of Western Europe, Australasia, and the whole Western Hemisphere. Birthright citizenship, that is. You're born in that country, which means you're entitled to citizenship of that country.
Mm.
Which begs the question, yeah. Well, people don't know this concept. I mean, I live in Norway. They don't recognize birthright citizenship. If I had a child who was born here and with a non-immigrant, I have to wait till that kid is 7 to be recognized as such.
We might not either. Trump has his way, but anyway.
Oh yeah.
But we have to see what happens. But I understand. I understand trying to want to incentivize marriage, but adding a tax onto a tax, which basically is a tax onto the man, and that's not going to help your case at all.
I can even go back to the Bush administration. I mean, the W administration. Sorry, I don't want to get the confusion between father and son here.
Bush.
W. Remember W during his first term? He was saying just to end the problem of single motherhoods, we should be encouraging more marriage. In the economy you had, motherfucker, you inherited a surplus from the Clinton administration, and then what was going on with the war on terror and everything? That threw everybody for a loop.
Yep.
And the fallout of that, because remember, those 2 wars were financially taxing on any country. Because remember, wars are expensive.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to... Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to jump on the Republicans today, man. They're introducing legislation to make it to add pretty much add a tax on people fathers who are just having kids for the first time and without any DNA test whatsoever. And I have a problem with that. They're trying to encourage marriage with this legislation, but in my opinion, this legislation is going to make Gen Z and Gen Alpha just lie even flatter if you don't put restraints in it.
The term encouragement is just to be polite. What he actually wants to say is foist marriage on people. And
this is the Republican politician pushing this stuff. She's unfortunately my age, but Ashley Henson, and I already put her number up. Yeah, she's from Iowa. She's a Republican from Iowa, and she's pushing this kind of legislation without any DNA test in there, and that's a problem. And we need to call it out, no matter what side of the aisle they're on. And as I stated before, if the Republicans don't properly address health care and let those premiums go up and not do shit, you can't say shit when the Democrats beat you in 2026 and 2028. You can't say anything. You don't properly address health care. And it was kind of out of nowhere, but I wanted to get on before Art came on, and he's doing a light stream today, so that's why I went.
I'm looking her up. Yeah, I'm looking this woman up. Apparently, she was born and raised in Des Moines, Iowa. Republican. She's been married to the same man since 2008. Has 2 children, and she has a BA from University of Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a reporter before this. She worked for a couple of local channels. All right, West Des Moines. That's where she went to high school. Okay, studied broadcast journalism. Got a BA there. She was a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority. All right. Okay. Started her political career in 2016, at the state level. Personal life says here she's married with 2 children and so it is a so-called Protestant.
Which
So
explains
what the hell?
encouraging marriage. Yeah.
What's the marriage rate in the state of Iowa? I gotta look that up.
And once again, I put that lady's number up. Do not harass her, and if you harass that woman, I will disclaim. I will what's the word for it? I'll
Disassociate or disregard you or disown you.
I'll disassociate with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you make any
You don't. You do
I
not.
will disassociate with you because
Mm-hmm.
we're not about that. I don't want anybody calling up Jasmine Crockett like that either, or any other politician like that. No, we're not. We don't do that over here.
It's actually a federal crime to threaten a sitting politician or a congressman or
Yes,
woman.
we don't do that over here. We can disagree with their opinions, but we don't threaten people over here.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I got how many I got watching? I got 14 watching. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Hit my Cash App, support the show. Hit the super chat, support the show. But we need to talk about, we need to look at legislation like this that affects men like this.
Yeah.
And let's see who we got coming to the stage. Hey, Craig, what's going on?
Hi, Craig.
You there?
Something wrong with his audio?
Huh? I'm sorry.
Craig, we can't hear you.
You cannot hear me?
No, I can hear you now.
Okay, now we can hear you. We can hear you now.
You're good.
Okay. All righty. I guess nobody knows what the state law for Iowa is. Again, the month. Again, the reaction videos are getting out of hand. The state of Iowa requires paternity to be established before, so it doesn't matter. It's not that this bill wouldn't pass per se, but they cannot again legally extract money from people without knowing paternity. That's technically theft by deception or just theft. But I'm looking at her bill right now. It clearly says here that says Representative Henson's new bill does not explicitly require a DNA test. That's all it says. That's it. But if you look at the Iowa law clearly says that you have to establish. Let's see. You have to have a paternity established before they can get child support from you. So again, I keep on trying to say to people that they have the key thing is getting the DNA established. They do not have to pass pertinent law on that. That is just up to you to go to court and or tell the nurse in your room that you're not going to sign the birth certificate until and I work in healthcare and I've been in the delivery rooms helping babies be delivered with the doctor or the PA or the nurse or the practitioner. And there's men that have come in there and say, yeah, they're not going to sign anything until there's a DNA test. I mean, it's not that hard. So that gentleman's whole thing, all he had to do was go read the Iowa state law, the state law. So yeah, they'll say, well, what about the federal law? And you just, if you're in the state, say, well, here's what the state law says. The federal law is different. That's why it doesn't explicitly say it has to be done, because it's done anyway at the state level. I mean, I hope that. I mean, I just looked up Iowa state paternity law. I literally typed in Google, does Iowa require? I'll do it again. Does the state of Iowa, and everybody can do this that's listening, does the state, I just, let's see here. Yeah, does the state of Iowa, that's a hard one. I've always spelled that wrong.
Iowa?
I've always spelled it wrong. Does the state of Iowa, let's see here, need paternity?
Okay, I think I found it.
Yeah, before they can. What's it say?
Yeah.
I just. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's from the Iowa Judicial Branch administering justice under the law equality to all persons. It's the Iowa courts official website. The state of Iowa. It says here, Iowa law review procedures to establish paternity and to compel child support by the father can be found in Iowa Code chapters 252F PDF form and 600B, which are also available in the PDF form. Is a blood test required? In a case of established paternity, the court may, on its own motion or at the request of a party, require the child, mother, and alleged father to submit to blood and genetic tests. The party requesting testing must file a written motion with the clerk of court and provide copies of the opposing parties. The judge will then consider the request. Is a blood or genetic test conclusive? If any expert concludes that the test results show that the alleged father is not excluded and the probability of the alleged father's paternity is 95% or higher, there is a rebuttable presumption that the alleged father is the father. The presumption can be rebutted only by clear and convincing evidence.
that's a
All
DNA
right.
test. That's it. I'm looking at it right here. It says types of paternity tests in Iowa: legal,
Yeah.
court admissible, required for child support, changing birth certificates are custody cases. Follow strict chain of custody for sample collection. There you go. So that guy's whole video is based on the men not reading the law. That it's that simple. The men do not read the laws; they just react. This is what I said the other day. There is no money, like Chris Rock said 30 years ago. There's never going to be a cure for AIDS because there's no money in the cure. The money's in the treatment.
Money's in the medicine.
Yeah, the money's in the medicine. It's not in the cure. You get cured and there's no money.
Here's what I suggest.
Yeah, so it's
Craig, let me stop for a minute. Here's what I suggest. If for those of you who live in your Pacific states, check to see if it requires a DNA test, and if it doesn't, talk to your local legislator and make sure it requires a DNA test.
Well, they don't have. That's the whole point. You don't have to require anything. You just go and do it. That you don't need the state to really do that. You just literally say, "I'm not going to sign anything." Now, in my state, Kentucky, if you're married, you are presumed to be the father. You don't have to sign anything. But if you're not married, then yes, you need to go ahead and do it. You can still get your name off the birth certificate.
Is it like that in every state, though?
It's like that in every state. Again, as I said after the election, we were going to separate the men from the boys. And that's what's happening right now. These boys are wetting their pants. The men already knew this. Again, people did not vote for Donald Trump. They voted against Kamala Harris. There's a difference. So when you look at it, and SWP did a very good video on this a few days ago. The Republican Party is in two major parts. You have MAGA, which are Ride to Unite Trump supporters. Trump does no wrong. And then you have the MTG Republicans. Those are Republicans. And what she sees, and if you listen to her speech when she left MAGA, she said Mike Johnson's not doing anything. And they're hearing it back in their districts. So at the end of the day, the Republican Party is mostly Christian conservative. They're Christian conservative. So that is different than MAGA. And Christian conservatives do not like all this stuff going on with Epstein, how Trump has not, I'm not going to say he lied, but so far he has not released those Epstein files like he promised on the campaign trails. On Joe Rogan, he said it. So everybody is still waiting on him. And your Marjorie Taylor Greens, your Candace Owens, they're getting upset. They're like, what is going on? Why won't he release the files? But that's why I asked about Dr. T's thing. 92% of what was in Dr. T's plan, state stuff, not federal. Why the men want the federal government to go in and overstep? That's liberal. That's what liberals want. That's what a liberal wants. So you can't say I hate liberalism, but a DNA testing, yeah, it should be by the government. No, you do that yourself. You just do that. You can actually write that off on your damn taxes if you itemize this. Because it's a state thing. It's sad that guy did not read the state law. He just didn't read the state law. So the law that she wants passed doesn't have to explicitly have that in there because the state law already requires it. And just like the Texas law, Texas passed almost the exact same law. But before they can start taking money, the girl can go down there and say, Tyrone's my baby daddy. But if Tyrone gets his court summons and goes to court and says, I don't know what she's talking about, I want a DNA test, guess what the judge is going to order? A DNA test. So there will be a stay put in until the DNA test comes in, which takes like 7 to 10 days. Then you get your answer. But as I said before, there's no money in the actual. The money is in the reaction. That's where your money is. Like people are saying that's why a lot of people are saying people are grifting because all you have to do is read the state law. I would email that guy.
I believe it's called outrage culture, Greg. That's what you mean.
Oh yeah, that's fine. You can call it what you want. I mean, if you want to call it outrage, yeah, because nobody's dealing with the state law. I can go to every man on these manosphere panels that bitch about DNA laws and say, what's the DNA law in your state? Let's just say you live in, I don't know, Florida. You should know. Like you should just be able to cite it, and then or North Carolina or Tennessee or Ohio or Michigan. You should be able to cite it, but a lot of them can't because they don't want to know it. They don't want to know it. Again, they didn't vote for Trump. They voted against Harris. That's what I am seeing. I can actually go into 2026 now and say that is exactly what happened. Like I can't believe I was right about that, but it is what it is. But that law is literally, you just read it there, Nate. You just read it. You just read it. It's right there in black and white.
What's going on, BGS?
Hey, what's going on?
BGS?
Yeah. It's going to take a while, man. It's because you're fighting culture. You're fighting the old culture. So it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons.
Because it was non-existent a few years ago. So it's going to take a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not going to be point and click. It will happen.
No. The United States doesn't work that way. It's 50 states.
No. Yeah. What's the saying? If you're going 100 miles an hour and you hit the brakes, you're still going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So there's been, if it's a war, you have to pick your battles. And that this is a battle that's just simply in your states. And that's for any man, black, white, or brown. Because I don't want to see Tyrone go to jail or Tony go to jail, for on child support on a child that's not his. That works both ways. But you do have to be abreast to what your state laws are before people start reacting, irresponsibly. Even the United States and Russia and China all have a red phone. That red phone's like, hey, look, before you launch something, call us first. Before you do something outrageous, the outrage culture, let us know, hey, look, confirm that it was us that launched.
Yeah. Well, the government still doesn't work you in internet time. Okay.
Yeah.
It works slowly. So people don't realize that. That's the same thing with the early days of the black manosphere. People thought, okay, you're not doing anything because nothing changed yet. Okay. It's just, they don't work. They realize this stuff has to work its way through the chain.
Correct.
They see it now 10 years later, but they didn't, when I first started in 2014, 2015, they didn't see it. They couldn't because they couldn't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like with Midtown. They were those girls that were 20, 21, 22 when that first started, 12 to 15 years ago, BJ, because you were there.
Yeah.
They were laughing.
Yeah,
they were 20, 21, but now they're 34, 35, and now it's boo-hoo where all the men.
Well, so, even people like Stardust and Thinking Ape, who's Thinking Ape right now, they didn't believe in it either. They thought it was just a minor protest movement, so you don't see the bigger picture. They couldn't because they never unless you've done this, okay, because I had done this like 12, 13 years before, so I knew. I said I know how the system works, and I know how this thing works its way up the chain, and I know that I knew the power of the internet working past the gatekeepers. The same reason a lot of people didn't realize with Dr. Neal talking about BMI, black male independence, right? They
Mhm.
thought, okay, he's just saying stuff. It's not going to work. It's not going to do anything. But the thing is, we hit a weak point, and it worked its way up the chain. People, 2 years later, you hear about the ice cube effect. People don't know where it came from. So we know where
Yeah,
it came from because we interjected into the discourse. Okay.
and that ice cube effect, that's a deep cut. Like you
Yes.
have to really have been able to follow the news. It was good to see Stacey Abrams the other day correct
Yes.
that bitch that was on that show asked her. 'Cause, I mean, she corrected the record. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
she put that girl put out misinformation. Again, put out what she felt.
if I'm
And
not, if I'm
Abrams
not,
said, "Here's the truth."
Well, the thing is, she knows that the Democratic Party and these people still need black men, and you keep up with the negative rhetoric toward black men. Okay, they're just going to chase them away. Okay, you're not.
yeah, if I'm
You
not
can't
mistaken,
shame the men back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
if I'm not mistaken, even though she lost by a bigger margin, the majority of black men that did vote in that election did vote for her.
Okay, the thing is, okay, the
Mhm.
biggest thing is, and this is something that Adrian sent me. Okay, it's not with how the black men voted; it's what black men did not vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm,
the
yeah,
biggest the biggest person that won the election day, the last few elections, are not the people that won. The biggest election is people on the couch.
yeah,
Yeah.
they said on the
Yeah,
couch.
The couch has won the last re-election. The couch has won.
Yeah, the couch and the snack bowl that you're on the couch with.
And what happened, and Stacey Abrams knows. Okay, she's not silly. Okay, she knows that, um, and that even though black men didn't vote for Republicans, they didn't vote for her either.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
so that's the couch one, and she knows she's realized. Okay, what taught her? She learned it too late. Okay, because they have been telling her for months. For months, you need to address the black male vote, and she did it too late, and
Yeah.
that's cost her. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're right. That's yeah. And again, and the same thing happened with Harris. Harris's campaign. Again,
Harris had no shot, man.
Yeah, she had no shot anyway. But
Yeah.
they were. If you read the book Original Sin, that is really in the book. That,
Yeah.
she wanted. She may have wanted to do some things, but they weren't. The people around her weren't going to let her. They just weren't going to let her. So yeah.
I mean, even if she wanted to do some things, like I said, go back. Don't have to believe me. Go back to her campaign staff. Okay, that
Yeah.
ran her campaign. They knew she had no shot. Right, basically. And the thing is, remember I was telling you that those polls that were coming
Mhm.
out, okay, were fudged. Okay, they admitted it. Those
Yes.
polls were fudged. Okay.
Well, their internal polls versus their external polls.
Yeah. What
Well,
it turned out,
maybe
it turns out the internal polls were correct because they
Yeah.
because if the external polls had matched up with their sentiment, they would have known. Okay, that's what.
Yeah,
what-
and that's
so-
why Lindsay what's I can't remember her name. The little the Asian girl that was now I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why she
Oh,
was.
Lindy Lee.
Yeah, Lindy Lee was so upset because
Mm-hmm.
it was she did not. She's their chief money raiser, and they did not tell her the truth of those internal polls.
mm-hmm.
She,
Yeah.
interviewed.
She said, Lindy said they spent like what was it, $2.5 billion on that campaign?
Yeah, at
They
least.
raised a lot of money. Yeah,
least,
she didn't
at
lose.
least.
Yeah, at
At
least.
least, and Hillary Clinton and the Clintons and Biden and them sold it to them, and they're still upset. That's like
Yeah.
It's like and then Kamala Harris did a lousy fiduciary duty for the money. So, which is not so much that she lost. The thing is where the money went, and
Yeah,
she
they
can't
were
account
like
for it.
20 million in debt or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no way that should have happened with all the money that was donated
Donated,
because
yeah.
we had a lot of people that hated that still hate Trump on both sides. Okay, so there's no way there's no way they should have been in debt with all the money that was donated.
Right.
Yeah, so she led the calls of because the people that gave her money talking about the whales, the limousine liberals.
Yeah,
they were like, well, we want to know where the money went.
Yes.
And so when she tried to get them to do that, she got shouted down and she was
Yeah.
being called
Yeah.
all kinds of names, and
Yeah.
so that's why she left the party. Now she works for the Republicans, and it's this public record.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
on Sean Ryan's show, the
Yeah.
former Navy SEAL or U.S.
Yeah.
Ranger. He got his own podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she told him when
Yeah.
when they asked her to do the audit. And if you can go back to the TV show The View, when Whoopi Goldberg brought up that audit, and one of them said, "No, I don't want an audit. She lost. We just need to move on. It's already embarrassing." So, but that's the problem is where's the money?
Where's the money? Yeah, there's a couple. There's a whole bunch of things. Like I say, Joe Biden's going to go down as the worst president in history, right? Is because of the global economics with the dollar, is because of the immigration policy, and also they're going to go down. Is Joe Biden is the one person I didn't think was possible to actually wreck the mainstream media. Okay. With the Ukraine policy, because they've been lying. They got caught lying to the American people. Okay. So
yeah, can you read that for me, BGS?
Stacy, Mayor Andre, Warnock, Killer Mike, the late Herman Cain, people on the ground in Georgia. Okay. He knows these people. We know who will and who won't win. Yep. Adrian was telling me that because he's in LA. He's an Atlanta guy. Okay.
Right.
He's telling me. And he's a Morehouse guy. So he's been telling me that on the ground that Stacey wasn't connecting with the men. He told me that a year before she lost, that she wasn't connecting. Okay.
Yeah, Bay told me the same thing, that she was not connecting.
Yeah, she's not connecting, and she tried too late. You can't wait like a couple of months out and start trying to connect with black men. Same thing. Democratic Party did the same thing with with Obama, with the Obamas late. Okay, they tried the old school shame black men into voting. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, that's why they hate the black manosphere. In fact, the Democrats straight up blame the black manosphere for Harris's loss.
Yeah,
they still do.
It's always Jermaine's fault.
It's always Jermaine's fault. That's why. But Stacey knows better. Okay, that's how come Stacey tried to correct her.
Yeah. And she did it and it needed to be done. It was like, and a lot of people picked up on it. So I was like, I'm glad that
George Reed did it right after the election. Okay, George Reed started pulling stuff in reverse. Yeah, so
she did.
Yeah, y'all need to tone down this rhetoric. Okay, because the numbers don't support what you're saying, and what you're doing is you're driving a wedge between you and the men. Okay, because these men aren't playing. Okay, that's what's happening.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I did this stream, because people, men need to be worried about legislation like this. And I understand what you're saying, Craig, but it's not always. I wish it was always that simple, but it's not. Not everybody knows their state laws.
Well, but it is that simple. You should know before you rage.
Yeah.
At least, but I'm saying before you rage, before you eat the sandwich, you ought to know what's on there. And if your state law. Again, I'm in Kentucky. My state law clearly says if I'm married, then I am going to be considered the father. That will take. I can still get them off the birth certificate, but it will take me longer. But I can still come off of it. But if I'm not married, I can in the room when the baby's born, I can look at the head nurse and say I'm not signing anything until the DNA test.
Certain states you still presume the father if you're married. Okay,
correct.
Okay, but the thing is, if there's paternity fraud, in case you divorce, okay, it will severely impact the divorce and the child support.
Correct.
So in other words, you still are the presumed father, but it will severely impact child support and custody and all that kind of crap. So you get it anyway. Okay, but the thing is, it's going to take a while for it to actually work through the. Because Kentucky was the one that did the 50-50. Okay.
Yeah, so, that was already on the books in 2018. We were just
2018.
If this they weren't emphasizing it, and that's why I compared it to BGS, when they open up NFL camp and they invite the refs in, and refs will go around and say, we're going to emphasize that this year, not this much on this year. So offensive pass interference, they don't. It's not that they don't call it, but it has to be blatant at this point.
There's going to be pushback. Okay, there's always going to be pushback because women are the greatest voting populace. But the thing is, at some point, the state's going to have to step in because they want to save marriage. That's Kentucky is not doing 50-50.
Out of the goodness of their heart, they're doing it because they
50-50. No, because they have to save the institution, because the marriage rate was plummeting in Kentucky, worse than any place else in the world. And that's a red state. Okay, it wasn't a blue state. Okay. So they have
She's our governor, but it's legislation up and down red state.
Yeah, it's basically a red state. But they got to remember, okay, and this is a issue that I'm having with so-called pedestrians, right? Okay, y'all think these people are doing it out of the goodness of their heart? They're not. Okay, you have to understand why the state is doing something. Just like abortion. Okay, they're not taking away women's rights out of the goodness of their hearts. Okay,
Yeah.
they're doing it because they're trying to survive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
They're
women
not-
were mad when they struck that down.
Well,
I said all they did was push it back into the states, and the women were mad. Oh, go ahead, BG.
Yeah, they are. Go ahead. You finish.
Yeah. I was going to say the women were mad until they realized, oh, we can pass referendums in our own states to protect the right to do it, and that's what they did. Even though I was a red state, they protected that right.
Yeah,
they had a referendum, and it was, I think it passed for like 60-something%.
Yeah,
and so people got to get involved in their states and change the law. That's all.
And it also what it does is takes the burden off the federal government, because
Exactly.
it's a right wing or a left wing thing, right? When you push it down to the state level, and it's still is protected in a red state. That means abortion is not a right or left issue.
Yeah, and they had a referendum on abortion in Florida this past election, and it fell. I think after 54, they needed to be at 60 or 65, and it fell short on that night. But they're going to bring it back up.
They're going to bring it back. They're going to bring it back. Yeah, of course, it's not going away. The thing is, okay. So the thing is, then the destruction of society will fall directly on the heads of the women.
Yeah.
It won't fall on you, and I think that's partially why they did it. Okay. Is make it a state elected and plus you still got those red states where it did pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Food of mine.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah. Mine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart, and that's the problem. Which is why you're gonna get. That's why I was telling guys with the opposite. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna get rid of abortion, but they're gonna really go after you for child support too, because they need kids.
Sure will.
So
they will lock that down. And I got into that video.
Yeah,
I mean, if he did the video,
so go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, if he did the video to just bring awareness to get involved in your state, that I 100% back. And I have to go watch the whole video because I could have misinterpreted it. His whole thing was this is the law, and they're going to do X.
No, he didn't say this was the law, but they said they were talking about this.
He because he thinks, okay, and this is a problem with the white manosphere, because we pointed this out years ago. He thinks it's a right or left issue, and it's not a right or left issue. He still doesn't understand why people do certain things. Okay, he still doesn't understand it. Okay, about the DNA testing at birth. There's a reason that France doesn't allow DNA testing at all in France. Okay, it's because they want the sanctity of the family is utmost, right? And basically this will interfere. So why does a country like Jamaica pass it, DNA testing at birth? Okay. You would think Jamaica wouldn't do that, but Jamaica did. Why? And Jamaica is basically a matriarchal state. Why did Jamaica pass it?
So some of the ladies stay alive, but anyway.
Oh well, yeah, they get because the men don't want to participate. The men say we're not going to get married or anything like that if you guys don't stop putting this jacket on us. Okay, and then a lot of women that don't want their sons to have a jacket put on. They don't want somebody else's baby in the family bloodline. So
right,
yeah. So that guy. I mean, I have to read. I want to make this clear. I need to watch his whole video before I really say anything. But the Iowa law, like the Texas law, I remember those videos they did over a year ago. Those people got online. You're gonna have to pay X amount of dollars to Keisha and all that kind of stuff. And literally, the Texas state law is before they can take any money from you,
DNA
paternity has to be established. Then they can get your money.
Yeah,
but if Keisha says this is your baby, and you go to court and you say, Your Honor, I want a DNA test, they will order the test. They will literally order it right there in the courtroom, and they'll put a hold on what they want. They're still get your information.
Yeah,
so,
Texas and I think most abortion states, okay, they can't take child support into a DNA test. That was the balance, okay. If you're gonna ban abortion after so many weeks, okay, she can't get an abortion. And you're gonna put this jacket on this dude. Have to get the right dude. So that was the balance. Okay,
Yeah.
they gave something up. Okay, in other words, the dude just can't push a woman to go on out and get an abortion and get rid of the kids, so it's gonna not get a jacket. But the thing is, now, but the balance was to give the guy rights to determine paternity and get the right guy.
And like you said, Big Yes, they didn't do it out of goodness of heart. They did it to keep the society in order.
They're talking about. I heard. Man, I don't know why, but all of a sudden, over the last couple of months, man, I see a lot of your leading economists, man, talk about demographics.
Yeah, I've seen it the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, the last week you didn't talk about it. Well, but it's because of what's going on in Europe right now, and the Europeans anti-immigration laws. Okay, now they talk about demographics again. So that's why it's popped up. So, but we you know how long we've been talking about that demographics, Craig. So
Yeah.
that's why that's like certain things I talk to you guys about. You guys think it doesn't make any sense, or why we talked about this stuff, and then when it pops up, then it's okay. That's how can we talked about it. Okay, because remember, in fact, that's like I got the nickname VHS, right? Is because in 2015, 2016, me and Charles were actually talking about the abortion laws working its way through the state courts, right? And eventually it was going to be tested in Supreme Court, just like we said it was. So that's how I got the nickname VHS from Charles's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you tickled me in your video you did the other day, BGS, when you were talking about the women, how Black women don't want to be married, and they're online.
Yeah.
They're trying to say, well, it's not true. It's like, well, you look at the data clearly says they don't want to be married.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that I think a lot of Black men have missed is that, I think BGS, you brought this up years ago, Black women have actually programmed all Black men to care about what they think.
Yes.
That's why, and I was giving you a perfect example with Cynthia G.
Yes.
When she was talking about those white guys, they didn't go argue with her because they didn't care about what she thought. They shut her shit down.
Yes.
When she went in on Black men want to argue with her because we still care about what a Black woman thinks. That's why men are blue pill. Most of men are blue pill. They want to argue with the women. That's why the women are saying things like the men are sassy for arguing with us.
Yes. Yeah. And you're like you're a spoiled kid. You're sassy. Like you're a kid. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the patriarchy is moving in, and it's just you look at what the men are doing, and they don't care what the women think. So the passport movement, they don't care what the women think. That quarter zip
is a reaction to is Kevin's message going down, because the environment's changing and they need to change. So they're adopting what Kevin used to say.
And Black women are complaining about it. And it's like it's the same group of women that takes benefits from white people. But now you're trying to act white. It doesn't make any sense.
They've always done that. Okay, that's why.
Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta.
Go ahead.
Y'all keep talking. I'll show them.
No. Basically, as soon as the quarter zip, that's what I was telling Dr. Dunbar. The quarter zip is just Kevin's message showing up. Okay, the thing is, nobody's going to trace it back. When I saw it, I said, "Oh, I know what this is." Okay,
I did too. I was like, "Oh, well, good." Common sense.
Finally, they're getting away from because the thug and the tattoos and stuff like that. Okay, that's going to put you on the street. And they know. Okay, so they respond to the environment. So and Keisha and Keisha's benefits are not going to save you anymore.
Yeah, they're not getting those. They ain't getting those butter biscuits anymore.
They're not getting it. You can't live in a Section 8 housing. Okay, you can't eat with her food stamps. None of that kind of stuff. Okay, so you being a thug is not going to work anymore.
Yeah, they got a 2-year shelf life. So I tell people, I'm like, well, Trump did give you 2 years, so that's enough time for you to go to get an associate.
That's true.
So now it's a quarter zip with a Starbucks latte in your hand now.
Oh, didn't know that.
You look at the quarter zip. It's not the quarter zip movement. It's not just the pullover, man. The quarter zip's also the coffee cup in your hand. Okay.
Yeah. You know something, though, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
To a certain degree, the sisters do have a point.
About what?
Why would you argue with shit like this? Shout out to Louis for this video.
Oh,
So I finally just had my interview with my worker, and she said, unfortunately, due to the circumstances with everybody saying what they said online, and then they having all this stuff recorded online, I'm not ever eligible to get food stamps no more, and that because I've already said like on social media that I was getting $2,000 and
oh my
that I
God!
was making money and not reported it because I said that I was tricking, and they were saying that that's an income and that I didn't report it and all this other stuff. So now they talking about I can't even get my food
Ooh,
stamps.
oh my goodness!
This
Okay.
don't make no sense. Like, I really hate I even told y'all that. Like, I was just trying to be honest and tell y'all that I was getting it, and then now y'all done just blew it for me, so now I can't even get food stamps. And that's real bold because my twins got to eat. When I had these twins, what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, should have thought of that.
Like, what am I supposed to do? And then y'all keep on saying, get a job, get a job. I told y'all I can't read. Every time I go to a job and ask them, is they hiring for somebody to clean up? Because all I know how to do is cool. I just know how to clean up and lay on my back. That's all I really know how to do. So if it's not outside of cleaning up or laying on my back, I'm not gonna know how to do it, because if you tell me to read, I can't read. I don't know how to read. I keep telling y'all that, and y'all don't listen to me.
What?
How do you?
The environment.
I can't even argue with that. I just gotta
The
walk off. I'm
environment.
not gonna try to argue with that. I'm out.
What the thing is, they're frustrated, but the thing is, you got on TikTok thinking it was a flex, okay,
Yeah.
and you ran your mouth, you forgot.
All that stuff.
You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn.
Yeah.
You know what I told Louis behind the scenes, BGS, and I'm dead serious about this.
Mhm.
We're gonna have to start calling our brothers for getting these stupid bitches pregnant.
Okay, the thing is, okay, you know,
Mhm.
that's why I came up with the octanes. Okay,
Yes.
the guys getting this woman pregnant are not the same class of guys as you.
Yeah.
You're not getting you AB and you know and Craig. We're not getting these kind of chicks pregnant as soon as they open their mouth. We're not touching them with a 10-foot pole.
You're
Okay,
right. You're right.
Who's getting them pregnant? It's not us.
I mean, if you gotta clean, you have to know.
No.
it's a
Hold
body.
on, wait a minute. I take that back. A stupid Pookie.
No. Well, the thing is, Pookie's doing to survive because she's got the benefits, right? Why do you think they push the benefits to the women, right?
Yeah.
She got the Section 8 housing, she got the benefits and stuff like that, and all he has to do is hustle up enough to actually supplement what she's doing and you know blow her back out and help her take care of the kids. Okay, it's a different household. Okay, she
Yeah.
knows. Okay, but she knows as soon as her benefits are gone, he's gone too.
Yep.
Yeah, eating he's at home eating all the Lunchables, but she needs somebody to watch her kids.
Yeah, she
But
watch
okay,
her kids. Okay, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you know it's probably going a little outside the purview when we talk about politics. Okay, there's a reason you have a man in the house. Is you know because I learned that you know later on. Okay, there's a reason if you have a man in the house, especially for a woman that lives alone. Okay, just having a man in your house brings protection. If people know there's a man in the house, okay, they're not going to fuck with you the same way. Okay.
Oh yes.
I learned that with women that, you know, especially older women that live alone, okay? They're trying to a lot of older women have houses trying to get you up in their house, okay? You know,
That's
and
true.
why? It's because I work, sometimes I come home at night and I don't feel safe, okay? They don't feel safe. But a man in the house, or a man that's coming home, okay, gives that woman an air of protection. It's because people know, the predators know there's a man in the house guarding their yard, okay?
Yes.
Same thing with a Pookie. Why do you think they get a Pookie to be in the house? Okay, it's not just because they don't want to be alone. Okay, it makes them feel by having a man in the house. It makes them feel safe. There's a lot of reasons.
This could be a skit because the way
ain't no skit. Ain't no skit. That ain't no
YAL. I just noticed that. YAL.
Yeah. That ain't no skit. When she said I can't read, okay, all I knew was lay on my back and clean. Okay, that ain't no skit. Okay.
Yeah.
But you gotta look at the right chemicals to clean. I mean,
no, you don't. They don't have to. You don't have to read. All you have to do is copy what people have done in the past. You don't have to read.
Pretty much, man.
You can tell by color. Okay. I mean, she reads enough to know how to go shopping. You have to know she's not completely illiterate. Okay, she's functionally illiterate. Okay. to get a job. She's funky illiterate. There's a. It's not the old baseline like back in the 18th century where you just reading any words would actually get you by. Okay, not in a modern society. So when they say that you can't read or you're illiterate, okay, can you read enough to actually function in modern society? And she can't. Okay, she's at a baseline.
Damn.
And there are some people that remember that chick that got into what is it? University of UConn, man.
Oh yeah,
couldn't read a lick. Okay,
yeah.
There's a lot of kids out there like that.
Yeah, that's happened a few times in D1.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know there's a bunch of them. Yeah,
I forget what university.
UCLA got a whole bunch of scandals, man, by football players they couldn't read. But go ahead.
Yeah, I forget what school it is, but they said they had more than half their students could do middle school math.
You know what? It's because I've been railing against that stuff, man.
The new math.
The way they teach math makes no sense because they don't go for mastery. It said, why are you trying to teach put algebra elements in first grade math? It makes no sense. Okay.
Oh man.
Why don't you just teach them how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide?
Wait a minute. Let me show what we're talking about. Because when you see it, it drives you up the wall.
Mm-hmm. Why you introduce unknowns into first grade math makes no sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I didn't start taking science-based math until almost 8th grade. So I was maybe.
Yeah, there's certain things. Okay, I mean, back in the day, they repeated you had basic math 3 or 4 times, and if you really didn't take higher math, okay, you went through your whole school career with nothing but basic math. Okay, you had to ask for algebra and trigonometry and stuff like that. You had to ask for it. You had to qualify. Back when I was young, you had to qualify for this shit. They didn't just give it to you. Okay. When I was in middle school, I had to ask for algebra. Okay, they weren't going to give it to me. I had to ask for it.
It was an elective. I do remember
it was an elective. You had to go to the counselor and prove that you were capable of actually doing that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that does sound right. And if you didn't, you would go into like accounting or bookkeeping stuff. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Stuff. Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay, that's bringing back memories right there. Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, you're younger than me, but I remember when where algebra and higher math, man, was an elective that I had to walk in as a black kid. Okay, I had to walk into the counselor's office and prove that I was capable of actually doing that mathematics. Okay, okay, your grades are good enough. Okay, we can give you the elective because they wouldn't do it if your grades you had basic had a C in basic math. They wouldn't give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Damn.
Versus new math, we're doing more addition today. So for the new math, we split into our 10s and our 1s, and then we split 5 to make a 10 with 8, so into 2 and 3. Then we can go ahead and make a 10 with 8 and 2, and then we just do the addition all the way across. I actually kind of like this method better because it gives students a better understanding of exactly what's going on within the numbers when we're adding, as opposed to the old math way. You're just kind of figuring out what steps you need to keep repeating to get the correct answer. Welcome.
That's the right answer.
It is the right. Okay, the thing is, and this is something Bill Gates and Steve Jobs said. Okay, the one on the left is you memorizing in math facts. Okay, which is the old way. The new way is how a computer breaks down math.
Right.
So basically, they're training your brain to program
for the new math, we split into our 10s and our 1s, and then we split 5 to make a 10 with 8, so into 2 and 3. Then we can go ahead and make a 10 with 8 and 2, and then we just do the addition all the way across.
Which is how a computer actually determines how to add. A computer doesn't add the same way we add.
Well, I still like carrying my 1, so they can go keep
exactly.
Well, I mean that is true. But see, that's the way a human brain learns how to do math. Okay, what they're trying to do is train you how a computer actually does math. A computer does math that way, the new way, and so
actually kind of like this method better because.
Yeah, but we're not the computer.
It went out the computer, and then what they found out, it does not take. Okay, and it takes longer to teach math that way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how much paper. I mean, how much paper I gotta go buy now?
BGS, isn't this a waste of the environment? I'm just saying.
Well, it's not a waste. Okay, the thing is, the you gotta understand who was in control. Remember the women and the techies.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm using logic. Never mind.
Yeah, and so the women the women are trying to make your brain work like a computer. Okay, that's the way a computer figures it out. Okay, it's simplified. Okay, sure, because the computer can do it in nanoseconds. Okay, but your brain can't. Whereas if you memorize it, your brain does it in nanoseconds because your brain recognizes a pattern and spits out a number. Okay, whereas a computer does not. It actually works through a whole problem the same way. So it doesn't matter whether it's 8 plus 2 or it's 8,000 plus 2. It doesn't matter to a computer. It's going to work it out the same way.
Oh man, that's terrible. Well, no wonder kids are struggling.
So what?
No wonder these kids are struggling.
Yeah. It's like
teachers want to quit.
It's like a Mississippi scrapped the whole thing because they were 49th in reading, so they scrapped the whole new language and new math thing and went back to the basics, the way your brain actually works. Because I used to read this stuff, man, how the brain actually works. Okay, there's a book by George Lakoff where math comes from. Okay, the way you figure math come organically through because organically you cannot count past 10 because those are your digits. Okay, after that you have to use some kind of mental algorithm to actually add, subtract, past that particular number of things, but you have to work the way the brain works.
Yeah, it's a pattern. 0 to 10. It is what it is.
Yeah, it was 0 to 10. It was actually 0 is not part of 1 through 10. Okay, because you don't have to.
My bad.
Yeah,
1 through
0 is an algebraic concept. There's no such thing as 0. 0 is actually infinity, but 0 is actually an algebraic concept. It's not organic. Okay, there's no such thing as a 0 there's no such thing as a 0 in nature.
Yeah, fellas, we got going to end right now because Art's going to be on in a couple minutes.
Yeah. I just jumped up, man, because I want to. Well, I hear what the white guy is saying, but the thing is, if you've been in the black manosphere, if our sector black manosphere, all the stuff that he's saying, you already know. Okay, you already know. And what he's saying, there a lot of things. The white manosphere is catching up to us. Like I was listening to Rollo Tomasi, a little bit on his Sunday thing, right? Okay, he repeated the same shit I said about Scott Galloway, almost verbatim. Okay, so you got to remember they steal from this sector. About Scott Galloway spreading propaganda. I said, motherfucker, you didn't say that a month ago, 2 months ago. Okay,
he said it years ago.
I said it years ago, but saying I repeated it because somebody asked me about the Oprah thing, right?
Yeah.
And basically all he did is stole it and repeated it verbatim.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I remember him 5 to 6 years ago saying if they didn't change things, that they were going to have a society of terrible men. And now he's saying, well, no, that's why he's going around saying, I told you so.
Who, Scott Galloway?
I think, wasn't that him that said that? Maybe it was somebody else.
It was Galloway a few years ago. It was, he didn't say that. Scott Galloway, it was actually, they started saying that. Reeves and Chetty started saying that in 2018, 2019. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You gotta understand who Scott Galloway is. And I didn't have my channel taken because I actually exposed Galloway, Reeves, and those kind of folks about who was actually paying them to actually spread this stuff. But that's how they're going in on the manosphere, right? It's because they're disrupting the whole family structure.
Decline.
Yeah. If you look at UN women, okay, I think there's a video that's going around. They're bad. They're not just talking about the manosphere in the West or the manosphere in the United States. They talk about it's affecting men globally. That's how far
that's true.
Spread.
Yeah.
That's far spread. That's how come they're trying to take. They can't stop it. What they're trying to do is take over the reins of it and guide it. That's how come they need That's how come they
Reeves
needed.
and Galloway.
They need Reeves and Galloway are the proponents, but they need a face. That's how come they're trying to put Pearl as the face, okay, of
Yeah.
the movement, okay, of Pearl, and then they try Candace Owens and which they that's how come they threaten the Tates to get out of the way, okay. They would love to put Myron in the place, okay, but because Myron, but it's not going to happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're not accepting Myron whatsoever.
Yeah, they they're trying to force down acceptable people to actually lead the manosphere. So that's how come they promote them out front, because everybody knows Sneeko had nothing to do with the manosphere, okay, and Tate tangential, and basically Myron and Fresh and Fit are not leaders of the manosphere because they're pickup artists. At best.
Yeah, that's what they've always come across to me. Is like, it's right, kind of in that vein. So that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
You out, AB, or what?
We got a few more minutes. Art,
Okay, he ain't booted up yet.
No, he's 15.
15 minutes.
11, 15. You know how that schoolwork can be sometimes.
Yeah. It's it's the week before Christmas, so yeah, he's trying.
Oh yeah, because I was talking with Dr. T yesterday.
Yeah,
we were watching Strictly Business. That was a good movie.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I might go back and watch his review. Okay, because I know and somebody's trying to get me to do the Learning Tree, so I got to watch the movie. I might do it. Maybe Saturday, the Learning Tree.
Yeah, Halle Berry was in there.
Yeah, I've seen parts of the movie. Okay. I don't know. What was his reason for doing it? Because it's not exactly a political movie. I mean, it's more like a rom-com more than anything else.
It was pretty much a story about brothers in a real estate business back in the early 90s.
Okay.
And how different brothers came up. One brother was in the mailroom, one brother was supposed to be a partner, and all the shenanigans that happened in between. The brother close to partner had a really annoying 92.
Okay.
One of those 92s that talk
yeah. Okay. All right.
And she gets clowned at the end, and then the Halle Berry character is the sweet one, and
yeah. That's the sweet 85 sweet working class girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I barely remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't a great.
Actually, this would probably more qualify as a climber because she was trying to get her own club and stuff, and she eventually gets her own club at the end of the
Yeah.
She might. What do you call it? 89.
No, she's an 87 climber. So in other words,
87 climber. Okay,
she's a climber. Yeah, climbers are different. Okay, they're trying to get to a different class of people. So that's why people get confused. Okay, that's why women's history is important, because we really in the Black community got a lot of climbers. Okay,
yeah.
And you wonder how come they like certain guys? It's because ask her where she grew up, because their imprint is different. So that's why you go to college. How come this chick is running off camp?
But listening to his annoying girlfriend, you could definitely tell she was raised bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
That snobbish, head up the ass. Yeah.
Yeah, Cosby Kid type stuff. Yeah.
No, even more snobbish than that.
Yeah.
That real snobbish. Who is this dog?
Yes, those are real upper class women. Yeah. Yeah, that look at you a certain way. You have to have certain qualifications.
So shout out to Dr. T though. He said the only thing to keep with those kind of women is the extracurricular activities are fire.
We're talking about the snobby women,
those
working class women.
No, the upper, the snobby upper class.
Okay. It was fire, but also they have connections that you need.
Yeah, that's
and that's
true.
what the whole thing. You can ask Black Guru, right? Because he married into upper class, right? And his business prospered is because of her family connections.
Yeah.
That's why you marry them. Okay. Trust and believe. I know. Okay. Um, if you marry into that class, okay, you get help from because they want to see her succeed, and you're part of
Yeah,
her. So
they'll make sure you succeed
they
too.
can make you help you succeed. They give it. What's the biggest thing when you go to a certain college is what your associations. Okay. You
Yeah.
absorb her associations. That's how come you would marry a woman at that level. But also that's how come they check your pedigree. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are you? What do you do? Blah 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 blah. I've been through that more times than um I can I can shake a stick at. Even my like my baby mama, one half was poor or working class, the other half, okay, they own businesses and stuff like that, right? Okay, so
Mhm.
they'll send you, they'll talk to you and check you out, stuff like that, okay, because I span classes, okay, they accepted me. So we need her, we need for you to marry her, okay, because I span classes. Because I'm
Mm.
actually not supposed to be down working class. I'm not supposed to be a working class person, but I am. So I committed class suicide.
Oh yeah, you told us all the time you didn't go for Oak Girl when we was in the.
Oh yeah. Maxine Waters' daughter, yeah. Yeah. I was just telling my mother her and Maxine are the same age.
What did she say?
Yeah, she said, yeah,
Oh.
she found it out. Yeah, they're the same because uh, Maxine and Maxine's kids are the same age as Michael. I was saying we're the same age, so the mothers are the same age, almost. Yeah. Almost.
Candace sat down with Charlie Kirk's wife.
I saw
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she still mad at? Well, I don't. Well, yeah. At some
I was
point, they're
listening
gonna have
to
to.
I was listening to Candace's response. Evidently, they worked
Mhm.
out some of the misunderstandings.
They know what it is, man.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. They know what it is. Charlie Kirk and Homegirl is an arranged marriage. It's a political marriage. They know what it is. Candace's marriage is a political marriage. I don't know why she's upset. Okay, she's upset because the powers that be um, uh, broke their tool. Okay, she's still upset. Okay, but the
Yeah.
thing
And
is,
that was her friend. Charlie was her friend.
yeah,
But
she
yeah,
was her friend, but
yeah,
but you know how this business works. Okay, and
yeah,
the thing is,
yeah.
if you run off your mouth too much, you'll be next.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And right now she's walking the line right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, because I know you're upset. I know you're mad that they did him in. But thing is, unless you want to be next, baby, I know you. Your protest has been duly noted. Okay, it's time for you to chill out and go and get back in line.
Somebody need to tell Letitia James that.
Letitia James,
Mhm.
James is a nobody compared to that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Letitia James is basically Kamala Harris's
Yes, spiritual twin.
well, they're sisters, right?
No, go ahead.
Okay, that's how come they were. That's how come they were hired, right, for a particular job that didn't work. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you knew that there was going to be blowback. Okay, if this guy got to be president, he's not going to forget you. Okay, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew the risk that you were taking. If you didn't take him down, that's how come everybody was shocked when he became president. Okay, he's not going to forget you. Okay, so
I don't know. You try to come after that dude's money.
no, you try to all that stuff. He's president on there. He's not going to forget you. Okay, he might not go all in, but he's gonna make sure that you feel his wrath.
Yeah, you're gonna feel the heat.
You know, so and
Yeah.
trust and believe. Just because Musk is gone, all them Doge files are still out there. Okay, you just haven't read them yet. Doge Doge the programs that Doge put in are still working. Okay, you might not see it. Okay, so why do you think all these politicians are going down for this, that, and the other? Okay, that stuff has been dug up. Stuff been
Oh
dug
yeah,
up.
I heard like 20 different Republicans might retire this election
Yeah,
cycle. Okay.
between Epstein and between Doge, oh yeah, there's going to be some people there's going to be some turnover. Okay.
Yeah, there's people getting their balls squeezed.
Yeah, there's gonna be some turnover. Okay, that's how come they gave must have $1 trillion to leave. Okay, Because all of a sudden, you know, he lost all those billions of dollars because of because of his companies, and then all of a sudden he leaves. A few months later, he's a trillionaire. How's that happen?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
How's
voted.
that?
They voted so he could become one. Yeah,
Yeah, funny how that works.
How funny how that works. Yeah. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what us old Negroes ain't supposed to know this kind of stuff or figure this kind of stuff out.
Oh yeah,
That's, yeah.
they'll be all right.
Oh, they hate my guts, man. They just
How does old Negro keep figuring this shit
he's
out?
figuring this stuff. Yeah, because I know because I'm looking at the playbook.
Like, he telling these young dudes too. He ain't supposed to know all this shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is that because the thing is, one, I'm not trying to be a star. Okay, and two, most people don't believe what I'm saying until it happens. Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff I said about abortion and all that kind of stuff and DNA testing and so I come I had Dr. T write that stuff. I said, Dr. T, write it, okay? Write it so as it happens, you can refer back to it, okay? Because people thought that DNA testing at birth was dead and 50-50 custody was dead. It's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. I said, write it down anyway, okay? And basically plant your flag. So when it happens, and people say, oh, I didn't see that coming. I said, okay, read the blackmail political agenda. Okay. And so, oh, it's there. So how'd y'all know?
What are your thoughts on them letting the Obamacare subsidies relapse?
They can, but the thing is, who's going to hurt or poor white people? Okay.
Yeah.
That's where the pushback. The same MAGA people that put these people in office, when if they don't, if they get hit, okay, then your whole MAGA move will die. Okay, it will die.
That's why I said the last 2 weeks. If the I agree with Margie Taylor Greene. If the Republicans don't do something about health care, y'all can't say nothing if you lose in 2026 and 2028.
And it's not. Well, the thing is, the reason Democrats don't say anything is because they got their hands in the pockets too. So that's Robert F. Kennedy who talked to Pocahontas to talk about the $1 million a year that you get from the medical stuff.
She like next topic. This next topic.
Next time. You don't want to. What happened was okay.
They don't want to be funded too. Wow.
If I really wanted to get back into politics and start messing with people, all I have to do is just run C-SPAN 10 hours a day. Okay.
Yeah.
And analyze it because it's there. Okay. It's just most people don't look at it because it's dry. Okay. Just like the stuff that's going on with Venezuela. Okay. Oh, the Congress thinking about taking his War Powers Act back. Okay. And restricting him because constitutionally he doesn't have the right to do what he's doing. Got to go through Congress to do that kind of crap. But thing they've given him leeway. But the thing is, that's one reason he hasn't really put boots on the ground in Venezuela is because Congress will snatch his War Powers Act. Okay, so we're not gonna have another Vietnam on our watch.
So they got rid of the government there. They're just the narco state would just move to another state. Like
there's no narco state in Venezuela. Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no narco state in Venezuela. It's in Colombia. Okay. Ain't no narco state in Venezuela. Okay. Got to remember Venezuela. It will. I don't know if you know it or not, Craig. You might not, right? Okay. Venezuela has 5 times the oil reserves of any other country on the planet.
I do know. Yeah. That's why I think they're there.
They're there because they need to replace Saudi Arabia for the petrodollar. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that I did know. That's why I was sitting on it though.
And they need control of it, not because of the oil. They need control of it because of the dollar, because the dollar is slipping. Okay. And they need to reframe it because the Arabs in the Middle East are moving away from the petrodollar. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they're bucking the system.
They're bucking the system. You know, when like I said, if Biden doesn't go down as the worst president in history, okay, it'll be a miracle because all stuff that he broke in just his 4 years is absolutely astounding.
And this will be the last thought too, because I was about to start. Obama warned us: don't underestimate Joe Biden's ability to fuck things up. He warned us.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that Bernie probably would have have a chance of winning that election, especially since Trump was so weak. Okay, and
Yes.
they put Biden in to step in to, and he told you I beat the socialists. Okay, he
Yeah.
he said they pulled me off the bench to actually run this particular campaign is because of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people got to remember when Joe Biden, when he announced, he didn't say, "Here's my grand plan." He just came
No,
out and said, "I can beat him."
I
That
can
was
beat
it.
him.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
he said. I
that's
can
it.
beat him.
I can beat him. Yeah,
I
yeah,
can beat him.
yeah.
So,
And the what I didn't know is how deep the neocon order actually went. I had no idea that the neocons were this deep into the Democratic Party.
yeah. It's all one big piece of steak.
Yes, yeah.
It's
The
got
neoliberals,
different
the
barbecue
neocons
sauce.
are just degrees of separation. Obama shut it down. Okay, that's how come Obama shut all that stuff down, right? They
Yeah.
couldn't wait to get rid of Obama so they could actually do what they're doing. Had Hillary Clinton done she'd have done a lot of stuff that Biden is doing.
Oh yeah. One of the reasons I was firmly against Hillary Clinton, do need to get out of here. One of the reasons I was firmly against Hillary Clinton is because you got to remember back when they were running the Syria war was still going on,
Mm-hmm.
and she talking about doing a no-fly zone over Syria. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh, the Air Force shut that down. I said the Russians are basically countering the airspace. Unless you want to go to war with Russia, it's a no. That's how come they couldn't do it. Okay, they couldn't do it, and plus, we'll probably get into this later another time. Okay, the reason that the Russians and the Chinese protected Syria is because they actually let the United States and in the West destroy Libya, and they couldn't afford. They would have all the momentum they had. They'd have lost had they let
yeah, the
them
US
rush out over Syria like that. Yeah, that's why. But anyway, that's probably way beyond what I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, this is way beyond this
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I probably shouldn't be saying this much in public anyway. But I'm just giving you guys little tidbits because I was actually active, politically active then, so I know exactly what happened. Okay, I know exactly who the players are. Why you think Obama got called to the Queen? Remember when the Queen put her arm around Michelle?
Yep.
Okay, and then right after that they went to France.
Yep.
And I think it was Marcosi that they talked to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Obama went against Gates. Gates said we don't have the capacity to get involved in this, and Obama overrode his Robert Gates. So anyway, but that's we probably need to do that behind the wall.
Yeah, we'll say that for Sunday.
Yeah, we'll say that for Sunday. Yeah, because it's probably
anyway, fellas. I'd like to thank everybody that came through, and always remember, guard your peace, guard your life, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace. Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.